Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Up Supercast Game Club. My name is Brandon. I am your host, and joining me today I have Ills.
The gods are watching over you guys. You're incredible. You're amazing. Seriously, you're a real inspiration. We're right behind you, supporting you 100% from the sidelines.
Well, thank you. That's really I'm inspired right now, and also I hope he's inspired too, because he's also here, and his name is Noah.
I am inspired. Just never forget about Rope Snake.
I will never forget about Rope Snake.
It's the MVP of the game. What do you mean?
Yeah, best character.
Literally.
All right, well, we played Mother 3 this time around, and Ills, you picked this game.
I did.
It was released on April 20th, 420, in 2006 for the Game Boy Advance.
Light them up.
Light them up. Light one up for Mother 3 because it was never released outside of Japan, which pretty sure everybody knows about, but if you don't, of course we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So it was developed by Brownie Brown and HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo. So first party game. It was, written by Itoy, the same guy who did Mother 1 and Mother 2, which is known as Earthbound in the West.
And Earthbound Beginnings.
Earthbound Beginnings, or it was Mother 1 is known as.
You never really hear about the very first one, Earthbound Beginnings, huh?
Get ready. You're going to play it in like 10 weeks.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, that game was released, did eventually get released in America. And I'm sure we'll talk about that at the time. But Mother 3 never released outside Japan. And we played Earthbound back in the Game Club near the beginning of the Game Club.
Was it like one of the first ones that we picked?
I think it was the second one. Or the third one.
I think it was the third one.
The third one. Yeah.
Oh, I think it was Saf's first one or something.
It was Saf's first pick, yes. Yeah. So we did play Earthbound for the Game Club already. So we're playing Earthbound 2, as it would probably be called if it ever came out outside Japan. But
I never understood the reasoning why they never translated and brought it to the West. So considering how loved Earthbound was, it's very strange.
We might never know the real reason. It's been speculated on. People talk about it all the time. It's a meme really at this point. Localized Mother 3.
Mm-hmm.
People hold up signs at WWE events that say that at this point. People want it. And they bother Reggie, and they did the joke at E3 with the guy asking for it, and Reggie set them on fire. And Reggie gets asked all the time, and even now, which I just saw a video where somebody asked him, he was doing a speech at a college, and he doesn't even work for Nintendo anymore, and somebody asked him, and he's just like, this isn't something that I have to worry about anymore, thankfully. So it's been, it's been the most requested. It's the godfather of games that people want that never got released outside Japan, I think.
It's almost up there it's up there with like Half-Life 3 almost.
Well, Half-Life 3 is a game that's not been made.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about games that have never been.
Yeah, but it's like most requested.
Yeah. So we, of course, wouldn't be able to really play this game if we didn't play it in English. So in unofficial English, fan translation is the version that we played, which was done by the good folks over at starmen.net, which is a huge Earthbound fan site. These guys and gals went together and put together this translation, worked hard on it. So we appreciate them.
They did a phenomenal job.
They really did. So we really appreciate them for doing that so we could play this game. Because we wouldn't be able to play it outside of that. So thank you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people have played it now too. It's not just us, a lot of people get to play it, and they've been really open about it. And when they were translating it, they're like, if Nintendo announces they are going to release this game in America, we will stop everything we're doing. We will completely stop, and we'll be done. And even now, they're like, if you guys want to use our translation, you can. You are more than welcome to.
Right.
So yeah, they're really open about it. They'll take it down if it gets released, and in their patch they even have a screen right at the beginning that says please support the official release, and if this game ever does get translated, please purchase it. You know, which I definitely would, even though I might not play it again if it does, but I would buy it just because just to show Nintendo that deserves to come out.
Yeah, never keep games away from us, Nintendo.
Never. Fucking Captain Rainbow win.
Yeah, for sure.
God damn it.
You'll see it in 10 weeks.
Oh, wow. Captain Rainbow?
I mean, I'm going to pick a lot of games in 10 weeks, apparently.
Yeah, we're going to play both Earthbound Beginnings and Captain Rainbow now.
We get a double feature, everybody. 2 games in 2 weeks. But Mother 3 is it's a role-playing game, just like all the other games in the Mother series. So before we get into that, though, I just want to talk to you, Ills, because you picked this game. I want to ask you why you picked it.
Sure. I mean, for obvious reasons. That it's a cult classic that never got released here, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. Obviously, we all loved Earthbound, and we want to see more of that kind of game. So that's why, and also because Lucas and Smash Brothers. So yeah.
Now we finally get all the references they do. It's like the
so
rope snake, the freaking Chimera in New Pork City.
Yeah.
The bosses in Brawl. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, like I found myself appreciating Lucas and everything about what Sakurai put into the game.
Yeah.
Now a lot more.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we can appreciate those things.
And in Ultimate,
weird.
In Ultimate, when he does his final smash, you see Kumatora and Boney in the background.
Yeah, I never knew who those characters were. Now I do.
Right. Now we can appreciate him. And Duster got shafted. They didn't put him in.
I know. What the fuck? Right. The best character in the game besides Rope Snake.
Okay. Since Rope Snake.
It's like why didn't they put him in there? He's part of the party,
Fucking love
cool
Duster.
Boney, I guess. I don't know.
They could have put him in there. Come on. I understand Kumatora has to show up because she's the only one who learns PK Starstorm.
Yeah.
But why Boney? If you're gonna put Boney in there,
he's your best friend. What the hell?
You should put all 4. Like they're the main party.
They're a party.
Yeah, like Duster has a very important role to the story too. He protects the Angel Egg.
He's a very important man.
He's no Boney.
Okay. So let's get into recommendations. We're gonna start off with that. We were doing that before. I forgot to do it last episode, but we're gonna do it again now. Right at the start, because there will be a spoiler section in this podcast.
So many.
There definitely will be. We're gonna have to have a spoiler section in this podcast because you should play Mother 3 without spoilers. So. With that being said, I'm going to start with you, Ills, because you did pick this game, and would you recommend, now that you have played it, would you recommend somebody to play this game?
1,000,000% yes. There is no reason not to play this game. This game is fucking amazing.
Okay. All right. Noah.
Yeah, the story is really, really good. Especially if you loved the first Earthbound, you will definitely love this one. Yeah, you get like all the awesome stuff, the familiar stuff from Earthbound, plus a better story, essentially.
All right. And I'm gonna follow up and just say, yeah, absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely. And don't stop bothering Nintendo. Go in public places, tell people that Mother 3 needs to get localized. I don't care. Don't stop. Just never give up. That's all I gotta say. This game taught me to never give up, and I'm telling you, never give up on trying to get this game localized, because you should play it.
Yeah. Scream it from the mountaintops.
Yeah, exactly. Don't stop bringing the signs to the WWE events. In fact, bring them to more events. If you go to a fucking NFL game and you're going to be in the front row, bring a sign that says localized Moto 3. We need Nintendo to notice.
Yes.
So, let's talk about the gameplay, actually, no, let's talk about the story first. I wanted to talk about
we're going straight
without
to
spoilers.
without
spoilers.
Okay.
I want to just go over, a brief brief beginning of the game, stuff that's not going to spoil anything with people. So in Mother 3, like I mentioned, it is an RPG. And its main focus is a little kid named Lucas.
Right.
Which you might know from Super Smash Brothers if you're into Smash. And if you're not, what the hell? But Lucas is known in the West because of Smash, and he's the main focus of this game. He's the main character, just like Ness was in Earthbound. But he's got a lot of supporting cast around him in this game. Opens up with Lucas and his twin brother Klaus. They're visiting their grandfather up in the mountains with their mother. Their father's at home, and
watching over Bonnie, the dog.
Watching over Bonnie, the dog.
Well, and also like their sheep.
Yeah. And their sheep. Yeah, they have a farm basically, kind of like a small little farm. So father's at home, and they're there playing with some Dragos, which are like big dinosaurs, but they're peaceful dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and
not hostile at all.
They're not hostile at all. So they're playing with the Dragos, and you find out, they live in a village called Tazmily Village, and the village is just completely peaceful. It's the most peaceful place you could live, right? And they live on an island.
The Nowhere Islands.
The Nowhere Islands, yes, what it's called. And it's just the most peaceful place in the world. There's no violence, there's no crime, there's not even an economy, there's no politics.
The concept of money doesn't exist there.
Yeah. It doesn't even exist. You walk into the store and guys and I was really taken back by it too. You walk into the store and the guy's like, take whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're like, I got stuff for you and you can take it if you need it, go ahead. It's just everybody's super nice to each other. And you're just like, wow, this is the most peaceful place in the universe. Like, it's so great here. The story starts off with them, like I said, Lucas visiting their grandfather up in the mountains. And he has a little home up there. They're playing with the dinosaurs. And all of a sudden, there's a forest fire. And the Dragos start going nuts. And I don't know how much I want to get into it, because I just want people to play it.
Should we mention just the spoiler? Let's move on to gameplay and other stuff, and then we'll go back to the story with the spoiler tag.
We'll definitely get more into the story when we talk about it. And I
just want to say, like, as the game progresses, like, first you start off as, you play as the dad, but then,
the father,
it's split up into 8 chapters, and initially you play as different characters up to, like, chapter 4, and then you start playing as Lucas, which was kind of a surprise for me.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me too, because in Earthbound, you play as Ness. Like, there's these little sections where you play as other characters.
Yeah.
But pretty much you're just Ness throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Whereas in this
Mother
one,
3 sets up like stories where you play as these different characters and you get to know them through the first couple chapters.
Yeah,
and they all
you get
come
to
together.
see like the events, like the first couple of the chapters of the events like happen almost at the same time, so you get to see different aspects of what's going on while that other thing is happening. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is different than I didn't expect it when I started playing it for the first time. I was a little taken back. I will
say, like, I loved chapter 1, but chapter 2 and 3 I didn't like as much. Like, I kind of felt like I wasn't as connected to Duster, Kumatora, and Salsa, like, initially, because they weren't, like, part of the story that was happening in chapter 1.
Yeah.
But, like, as the game progressed, I really liked the game. Like, I really, really started liking the game at chapter 4. But, like, chapter 2 and 3 was kind of a drag. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but also I knew it was building towards something.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I was very invested just in that fact, because I knew it was all building towards something bigger. I was like, okay, I was enjoying the fact that I was getting to, like, see these characters, in their individual stories, and that they were all going to come together.
Yeah.
So the game does a good job storytelling wise of making you care in each chapter about the characters.
Yeah.
And what they're going through.
I mean, even like in chapter 1, like almost immediately you get like a huge gut punch, and you're like, "Oh shit!" Like, things are really getting real here.
Yeah,
got real dark real fast.
Yeah. And you get invested in it really quick too, because you're like, "Well, I want to see where this is going to go and where the how it's going to be, become resolved. I want to find out."
And it's such a good job with, like, it's just simple sprite work. like especially like for the Game Boy Advance too. But the animations and like of the characters when the events happen, like, well, we'll go into more detail later. It's like even at chapter 1, it's just like you see a lot of emotion coming from the characters, and they express it very, very well.
Yeah. This is one of the things I think is an upgrade from Earthbound.
Yes.
I think that graphically and animations wise, it's much improved.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I didn't think so at first. I thought it was just like looked just like Earthbound.
Yeah.
But I went back and watched gameplay of Earthbound, and I was like, wow, Mother 3 looks like just better.
Yeah.
They did a good job, you know? And it's not like the Game Boy Advance is like significantly more powerful than the Super NES.
Right.
They just, I guess, got better at making sprites, you know? And it just looks really, really good.
What's the great thing about it? Like, it feels so consistent with the first game, even though, you know, it looks better. It still feels like this is the same world. This is the same universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Because it's got the same. It's got the, you know, it's got a similar look, and in the charm, in the writing, and everything is still there. You know, from the colorful graphics to the humorous writing to the music. It was like it just felt still, yeah, exactly like you said, the same exact universe, which is really cool.
Which is important, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
important.
The games are definitely connected. Way more so than I thought before.
Yeah,
I had no idea these two games were so connected.
Right, because you think that it's like almost like a Final Fantasy situation where it's new characters, new setting, just, you know, similar style of gameplay like Final Fantasy does, where it tells a brand new story every single time. Which, I mean, essentially this game did, but we'll talk about it later. It's more linked to Earthbound than, you would expect at all. So the game is similar. It has the same style of top-down, like RPG element where you walk around. But, you know, in the battle system is similar as well. But I would say, I feel like in Mother 3, they refined a lot. And especially even just in the overworld of walking around talking to people, that it doesn't have like the clunky menu system where you walk up to somebody and you press A and then you open up a menu and then you hit talk to talk to somebody. No, you just walk up to them and hit A and you start talking to them right away, which is it's a small thing, but it is way better than Earthbound. I really like that.
I also really like the run button, like. You just press it once, dash, and then you're off. Yeah,
I love that. That's absolutely, it's way better because Earthbound is kind of slow, and you get the bike, but you can't use the bike when you get too many people. You know, so I like that you can just run, and they do some funny things with the run too at certain points, like ramming into things.
Yeah, and also like if one of your characters is down in battle, you can't run, and if one of your characters starts feeling feverish, which means they're about to get a new power, you can't run during that time.
I liked that. I thought that was clever.
That was a cool way of like making them learn new psi attacks too.
Yeah, it gives you like this sense of anticipation.
Yeah.
It's what are they gonna learn? What are they gonna learn? Yeah, you get excited about it. And there's like a time where I was like, I knew I was right in front of a boss, so I just walked around until I got it. You know, just back and forth.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go into the boss battle until I get my new power. That's going to be important.
And it's interesting, like that the characters like feel feverish before learning something new. Like that's just a cool little quirk of the story.
Yeah, and it works well because like it's all about like psychic power. So like having the mind struggle like when it's learning a new power is like makes a complete sense.
They're going through bodily changes.
Yeah,
it's actually something.
Yeah,
physical.
Instead of just like, hey, all of a sudden I know how to shoot electricity.
Yeah.
It's a neat trick. Yeah, I like
it. It is cool. Yeah. And the battle system is remains fairly the same because it brought back the rolling hit point counter.
Yes, which is cool.
It's
pretty much identical, just with a very tiny few tweaks here and there.
There's a couple, but I love we said it in when we talked about Earthbound, but I love the rolling hit point thing.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome. It's so cool. You know, and it puts this anticipation in like just like a little more sense of like, oh shit, like I gotta hurry up sometimes, you know. When you take that mortal hit and you see it rolling down to 0 and you're like, I gotta heal, or maybe this guy's almost dead, maybe I can finish the battle before I die, you know.
Yeah.
Those moments are cool.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, I don't want to necessarily make this comparison, but it's sort of like real life. When you get hit by something, you're not going to feel the full brunt of it right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just kind of takes a while to get, for you to feel all of it. So I think that's...
Yeah.
Like,
especially when adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you're in a fight, if you've ever been in an actual fist fight with somebody, when you're getting punched and you have that adrenaline, you do not feel it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After you're done, it hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you feel the after effects.
Yeah, but during it, you're not feeling it. You know, it's building up. You are getting that damage, but you're not feeling it right away.
Yeah, so I just think that's really cool, and like you said, it adds a sense of urgency. Like I remember many times when somebody was about to die, like I was just trying to be scrolling through the menus as fast as possible to try to get a healing item on them.
And it makes it so like the enemies feel very powerful, like but not like unfairly powerful. Like he does like a move that's like 250 damage, and you're like, oh shit! But you didn't die instantly, so you have time to like recover from like a lethal blow that could instantly kill you,
or time to like kill them before they kill you.
Yeah,
which happened to me a few times in boss fights. Like holy shit.
Yeah, same. I've had some boss fights where I was just like mashing through the menus, like, oh, he's almost dead. Come on, just go.
It's surprisingly challenging. I don't remember Earthbound being this hard. Like,
I remember. I remember very well. Especially the very beginning of Earthbound, where you're alone with Ness. And even at the first boss fight, because of like the RNG, and like it was built around... Earthbound 1 had a lot of randomness happen in the battles, in terms of you wouldn't actually get attacked. The enemy would just like be distracted by something like... It's something not important, like just like he's loafing around, or he's like he noticed something in the sky and he's being distracted and looking up or something or whatever, and you would get like a couple of free turns. But they used that, they took that into consideration when they decided the difficulty of the game. So if those moments didn't happen, it made the game like if the enemy actually would attack like you would expect him every turn, then you would get fucked, like really bad. And that happened to me a lot, I remember, in the first Earthbound. It happened a little bit here, but nowhere near as much as it did in the first game.
Well, I feel like that probably only happened, like, early on in Earthbound. Yeah, whereas this game, like, I feel like there were a lot of challenging fights, like, almost in a row.
But this time it was because you were basically... it happened in the early chapters where it was only one person that you had in your party versus, three...
I mean when I had all 4 people. Like, there were times... Yeah, like, I didn't grind at all in this game.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Like, every time I met a boss, it was a struggle. It
was challenging. Yeah, it took me a fight just to, like, scout and, like, see what his weakness is. Like, I used Bonnie to sniff out, see what his weak kill is. Like, okay, is he immune to Duster's smoke bomb? Is he immune to stat changes? Is he immune to paralyze? Is he immune to sleep? I would scout that first and then go from there. Essentially,
you'd have to see what they were doing, because every boss, it felt like a different puzzle almost. Like that's what it felt like, a puzzle. Trying to figure out like, is this boss brings up psi shields, so using my psi abilities is almost useless in this fight, or they have counters, so I'm better off using psi abilities because if I use my physical attack.
Because there was that one boss that was like, if you physically attack him, you get electrocuted.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, better get all the rubber capes I can.
Yeah, I did that too. I got the rubber capes.
It makes you strong against lightning, I like that. Like, that made every boss, like, very unique and, like, felt very different, for like, a different fight each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I essentially used, like, the same strategies, buff the fuck up my guys. But, yeah.
Always gotta use those defense ups and offense ups.
But like towards the end, especially after I learned Life Up Omega and like Psi Shield Omega, I was like, I'm set. Psi Shield, Defense Shield, and Life Up. Just Lucas, the ultimate support character.
He was the best support character.
Yeah, he was.
And Refresh was awesome near the end of the game too. I loved Refresh.
No, I didn't use that at all.
No, it was great. You get health for all your characters at the beginning of their turn.
Yeah.
Not, it was like 30 or 40 health, but it was still great.
I basically gave like Boney almost all my healing items.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boney was the
same.
most unsatisfying character. He did not feel fun. He was just fast. That's it. He's like
Yeah,
He
you
was
just
very fast. He was the item user.
yeah, the item user. Saltwater guns, bombs, thunder bombs, super
Yeah.
bombs, normal bombs,
give
the
him all
fucking
the
thing that
items,
makes
give him
them
all
turn around. The
Made you look.
made you look, yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't there a voice sample in that too? Like, look over there.
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Oh man, yeah, it was cool. That's what I like too. Each character played, very differently. As well.
I love Duster because he had all the status moves. Like every time I would use a smoke bomb, make them cry, so their accuracy is down, and defense down, offense down, everything down. So good.
Yeah, Duster had the thief tools. He couldn't use any PSI energy, so he had to use physical attacks and tools.
Yeah.
And then Lucas
Yeah, he was an interesting character choice. Yeah.
Yeah, and Lucas and Kumatora were both able to use.
Yeah, Kumatora was more offense oriented. Lucas was more support oriented.
Yeah, exactly. Kumatora was learning all the offensive moves. Lucas learned a couple, but not you're.
Not
you get to
anything that the enemy would
name
be
his
weak
main
to.
move.
It's just like basically strong moves.
Yeah. At the beginning of the game, you get to name his main move,
Yeah.
which I completely forgot, and I was like, I just thought mine because it asked like, "What's your favorite thing?" or something. I tried to put video games, but it didn't fit, and I was like, "Okay, I guess can't put video games," so I put football instead, and then it was like PK football, and I'm thinking that
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I put mine as games, so I just kept getting PK games. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until I was playing it on stream, and I was like, somebody's like, "Oh, your favorite thing was football?" And I was like, "Yeah." Oh, that's why it's called PK football.
It took you this game. You didn't realize that.
I mean, if it was football, I would have guessed it. But because I put games, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, but I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I tried to put video games, but it didn't fit. Didn't have enough characters. Oh, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was
That's
like
what they
a
did
returning
with it.
thing they had from the first game too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any
Yeah.
like specific bosses that really fuck you up or stuff like that?
I think the hardest boss was that guy right on the 100th floor was really fucking hard.
Oh, NK Cyborg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty tough. I
I think for me it was the block trio that was protecting the needle.
yeah, the barrier trio.
The barrier
I was just
trio,
gonna
yeah.
say that. Yeah. That's so.
It's like
that was the one that had the
I
most
couldn't
trouble.
figure them out. Then I started sniffing with Boney, and he was like, "Oh, their weakness actually changes every time they change form."
Yeah.
And I didn't have
Yeah.
Psy Shield at that point either, so they were using a lot of Psy attacks, and I could not
yeah.
keep up with their damage.
Yeah.
So I had to grind a little bit in that area until I learned Psy Shield. I was like, "Oh, perfect."
I refuse to grind. It's just like, no, I'm not doing it.
I did a little bit of grinding. I honestly,
It's weird. Like I would go a couple of chapters without grinding, and then I would be like, "Okay, I'm a little bit underpowered. I need to grind." And I spend like that chapter grinding for a while.
Yeah.
You know who I actually had a lot of trouble with? The jealous base.
Yeah. Surprisingly, yeah, he's pretty
I
hard.
had a lot of trouble with that guy.
The
Yeah,
which
because
one?
he hits hard in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, the jealous base. It was like the.
The musical instrument. Yeah.
Yeah. I struggled with that boss at first.
Surprisingly tough.
Yeah.
I think you only have two characters at that point. It's only you and Bonnie.
I think it might only be you and Boney. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the thing about
It
this
was
game. Like,
extremely.
I had a lot
when
of.
you only have like one or two characters, it's really hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I had a lot of thunder bombs because I realized that in the beginning, like the Duster and Wes's house, behind the house is always like a hidden present that has thunder bombs in it, and every time you leave the town and come back, it has a new one in it. So I basically filled my inventory with thunder
that would've
bombs.
been nice.
I didn't know that.
That would have been nice. I didn't know that.
It was very helpful in the
lazy to keep
beginning.
checking.
Extremely helpful.
Because that boss was tough.
Yeah.
That whole attic part was tough, honestly. getting through that part. It's just you and Boney. I absolutely loved though when Boney wore those fucking clothes.
And he was like acting as a human. Yeah. We should go into spoiler territory now.
Well, we'll get into spoiler territory pretty soon here, but
let's talk about the environment design. Like, what did you like? Any areas of the game?
I liked, seriously though, I gotta say, I liked a lot of them. At first, I think like the first part of the game, I was like, I'm just going through back a lot of you go through a lot of the same parts early on in the game.
Yeah, because it's very centered around the village.
And it's like different perspectives,
Yeah, exactly. And at first I was like, man, I kind of like how Earthbound was, every chapter was like its own, like, you were at a completely different environment.
That felt exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah. But later on, the game, especially chapter 7, the game really takes a turn where you start going into more unique environments, which overall I end up liking them a lot.
I would say even...
and then the village itself changes and like what's around it.
Yeah, that too.
Like, even chapter 4 and 5, this is when I start liking the locales more. Like, when you started going up that tower, I thought that was really cool. When you go on the road with those pork beans.
Yeah,
those are super cool.
And the Club Titty Boo.
Yeah.
It's cool, yeah. I would say chapter 4 is when it really starts, like, just picking up in general. The first 3 chapters are all set up. And when I was playing those first 3 chapters, I was thinking, man, I kind of liked how Earthbound had more unique locales better. Yeah. But this game, ends up...
It picked up.
It picks up. It goes places.
I really love the island where you do the mushroom trip. Oh,
yes.
That part was hilarious.
That was so great.
Yeah, I actually read a thing that Toy had to tone down that part.
Really?
Because he it was way worse when they first were doing it. He said it was almost like too scary and trippy.
It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, it was worse apparently. Originally, he had to tone it down.
Wow, and they had to tone it down for Japan, not for America. So you can imagine.
Yeah, he must have made it really weird and creepy because this isn't really that much of a spoiler, but there's one part of the game where you eat mushrooms because you're hungry and you just end up going on a trip.
Yeah. Everybody except Boney, and he's like, everything you encounter, like you encounter like people from your past, and like people like that doesn't make sense why the fuck they would be there, and like they're actually enemies in disguise, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So like every time you talk to somebody, it's like a version of your father appears in front of him. It's like, oh hi, Lucas, what are you doing? You're lost. And it's just like Boney's just like, arf, bark, it's an enemy. Yeah. It's just like he's...
I think my favorite part was. There's a hot spring, and there's hot springs in this game where you can heal yourself. Yeah. And you go in one, and then after you get off the trip, you go back down, and it's just like disgusting, like pile of trash, like
sewage.
Gross,
sewage,
like sewage.
Yeah. And like when I noticed that
in the hot spring, Boney won't go in. Yeah. Boney's like, no, I'm not going in there.
Yeah, it's like I noticed that when that happened. I was like, wait, why the fuck isn't Boney going in the hot springs? And he's there whimpering. It's like, oh.
I can just imagine Boney just watching you all like just fucking bathing in sewage.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was good. That's a really good part.
Also thought, I mean, as much as I love the environmental design, stuff like that, like the enemy design was fantastic and horrifying. Holy shit. What the fuck? Like I just remember some of these enemies, like Kanga Shark. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're like
horrifying.
Yeah, it's like the morphs of animals, like 2 different animals put together. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
The fucking rattle cattle, or what is it called? Rattle cattle, like the snake cows.
Oh god. Yeah. Oh, and the
those
fucking
things.
The ostrich elephant.
Ostrich elephant.
That thing was terrifying looking.
The moles were fucking cool as shit, though.
Yeah.
Those moles were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Reconstructed lion was also very terrifying.
Yeah, fucking
literally
blade saw for
like,
a mane for a lion. It's just like, Jesus
That's
Christ.
Fucking horrifying. Holy shit.
No, the one where it was a lion's head, but it had just like arms.
Yeah, tentacles coming out of it.
Arms.
Yeah.
Why?
And it had this like blank stare that was just like, oh jeez.
This game is...
Most of them did. Most of them had just like a blank stare. They were like dead in the eyes, you know?
Like it was kind of hard to see these animals or enemies.
Well, and that's the thing too. That's like the villains were reconstructing animals.
Yeah,
they were trying to make the animals suck. They should make them cooler. That's like literally what it says in the game.
Yeah.
It's like these animals suck. We need to make them cooler.
That was the motivation why they did it.
Which you think, wow, that's very childish for that's the plan. But you'll find out if you will listen to the spoiler section. You'll find out why. But at first I was like, man, I miss how random as fuck Earthbound was.
Mm-hmm.
Because Earthbound was like, you were fighting like policemen, a stop sign, a KKK guy, like a bus, like random ass shit.
And then you're fighting zombies, and then you go to Forsyth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
which I liked at first, because I was like, I think that's better. I like fighting like just you never knew what you were gonna fight in Earthbound. But in this game, it was like had a theme to it.
Yeah.
Everything had a theme, and it fit in the world. I mean, it did in Earthbound too. Yeah. But it was less random ass shit in this game. It was more. It was random, but
I feel like it's more random as shit.
I don't know.
Well, I definitely feel like Earthbound in general, especially towards the last chapters and the enemies, were a lot creepier, especially like the last boss. That was like one of the creepiest shit that I've seen.
Yeah, the last boss
was like terrifying.
Is like the creepiest fucking thing ever.
I just remember being like so amazed when Earthbound did that huge section where you're like going into like prehistoric times or whatever, and like the camera zooms out all the way. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. You're like a little ant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that part.
And the enemy names in the game are also very, very funny. Like, puns. I liked Cleocatra a lot.
Cleocatra.
I like the arachnid with like 5 exclamation points for no reason.
Yeah. I liked Einswine.
Oh,
like
the toilet sign.
Oh my god, speaking of... Yeah, the men's room sign. Horse Angela was terrifying.
Horse Angela, yes, that was another one.
Jesus. The bro, little bro and big bro, they were also terrifying. Like, what the fuck were those things?
I don't know. Like, a lot of enemies in this game made me uncomfortable.
The hefty head, just a guy with a giant head that can't support his weight.
Yeah.
God.
You gotta love.
You gotta
love
the bros
Man.
later.
I never encountered Negative Man.
How?
Oh, you didn't find Negative Man?
I must have missed him. Is he one of the caves or something?
He's in a cave and he's just in a room by himself, and you just go in there and it's like the easiest fucking fight ever.
He doesn't even attack you.
He attacked me once.
Oh, he hit you for like 1, right?
Yeah, for like 1 damage. The whole time he's just like wallowing in self-pity.
He's like, I'm so pathetic.
Oh my god, it's great. It's so fucking random though.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's really good. So I guess in retrospect, I guess the enemies are better in this game than they are in Earthbound.
Better. I don't know if they're better. They're just I just love them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's weird because like I definitely like all the enemies here, but I have a weird appreciation for like the enemies in Earthbound. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was more the theme it's more towards like alien / creepy. That was the main theme they were going for the majority of the enemies, and it was pretty cool. Whereas here it was just like Jesus.
It was still creepy. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. If I never see Kanga Shark again, it would be too soon. What do you guys think of the?
Go ahead.
What do you guys think of the combat, like the musical thing? Like
I was literally just gonna say.
Okay,
that.
so
gonna mention that.
It's a cool idea, but the hoops you have to jump through to figure out. So basically, if you attack with a normal attack, you tap A in the right rhythm. You can do extra attacks, like combo attacks.
To the music.
Yeah, the music. Yeah. Well, it's not to the music. It makes like little musical sound effects, which is cool. But you have to listen to the enemy's heartbeat to figure out what that rhythm is, and then memorize
you can only
it.
Listen to their heartbeat if they're asleep.
Yeah, and you can only listen to the heartbeat if they're asleep. Exactly. But you have to go through so many hoops to learn the heartbeat and to execute it. It's not really worth it.
So there is a way you can practice. for free. You can fight any enemy you want that you've fought before, and you can practice on them for free.
True, the battle memory item, yeah.
Yeah, and the battle memory. But so here's the thing with that. I have read online that with emulation, it's a lot more difficult to pull off.
Why?
Frame skips.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, it's just it's tougher to do in emulation than it is. You know, you can still pull it off. I still never got the hang of it.
Maximum I ever got was like 3, and that's just from me mashing the button.
I've gotten a few where I've gotten to like 16, but
Jesus.
It was very rare. Like whenever it happened, I felt like I was lucky. I never felt like I actually did it on purpose.
I think 16 was the max that you could get. Yeah.
Did you do a shit ton more damage? Or was it just like 100, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, that kind of thing?
It gave you a lot more extra damage, but I mean, it was just like I can never rely on it because it was so hard to pull off.
Yeah, the good thing about it is that you don't have to rely on it.
Yes, that's true.
And
if it was like a main mechanic,
something...
like, for example, like Mario and Luigi, like doing the commands.
Paper Mario.
Yeah, or Paper Mario, that would have been
where
bad.
It can make or break a fight.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a thing where if you're good at it, it makes the game a bit easier.
Yes.
But you can still beat the game without doing it at all.
Yeah. I just wish it was like a little bit more overt. Like they give you some kind of signal of when to start.
Yeah.
You know, because they have all these menus. Like they tell you, oh, Lucas is about to attack, and you don't know if you're supposed to start pressing A then or like when the attack actually lands. It's very hard to judge.
It is. Yeah, it is hard to judge. I just did exactly what Noah did, and I was constantly tapping A, and sometimes I would like nail off a few.
I love that each character has like their own sound effect from their attacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
just
cool.
like the enemies do too.
Yeah.
When the enemies attack you, they have their own like sounds, which is cool. Which I mean, speaking of using that mechanic, in to the music in the game is fucking awesome as well.
Very true.
Which isn't a big surprise, all things considered. When you think about this series, but yeah, the music's just really fucking good. I mean. We've heard like some of the music, was nice to hear. Like for finally in an actual game, you'd hear it and be like, "Oh, I've heard this in Super Smash Brothers."
Yep.
Like the theme behind the pig army.
Yep.
That music. It's a really catchy theme. So I just loved it. There's just a lot of really catchy music in this game, just like Earthbound has.
There's so many different battle themes. Like,
There's a lot. One of them, the one that where you fight the bat, is straight up the beginning of it is just Batman. It's like
yeah.
I'm like, okay, Batman. This is awesome. It's really good though, and there's a band in the game, DCMC.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's they have some parts where they just play some songs, and those songs are really catchy too. They're really cool.
Yeah.
It sounds good. Game Boy Advance sound chip.
Yeah.
Really sounds really good. Oh, man, there's something. Oh my god, I cannot believe we didn't talk about this yet. I wish I talked about this at the beginning. But this game was originally going to be on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot fucking believe we forgot to talk about that before. But game was going to be on the N64. So they were then they decided that they wanted to put it on the N64 disk drive. And then that completely failed. So they canceled the game. And a couple years later, announced they're redoing it from the ground up on the Game Boy Advance.
Nice.
So if you go online, you can look, and there's footage and screenshots and stuff from the N64 version that was in the works at the time, and it's just fascinating to look at. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm glad this game came out on the Game Boy Advance. Because from the screenshots, I mean, N64 games haven't really aged super great.
Nope.
Some of them look okay. GameCube's better than N64.
Yeah, I know. GameCube's just better than N64.
We can say that on this podcast. Yeah. There's nobody to challenge us here. And if
they're all wrong anyway.
They'd be fucking wrong.
Who the fuck says N64 is better than GameCube?
A bunch of idiots. Don't worry about it.
A bunch of idiots, yeah. But, looking at the screenshots and the gameplay of Earthbound 64, it kind of looked not crappy, but it looks like N64 game, and I think just the sprites hold up better for this.
Sprites are like such a.
They're timeless.
Yeah, they are timeless. Really.
Not that I don't like 3D models. I do now. Yes, N64 days. Some of the N64 games,
PS1 is rough.
There's a little rough sometimes.
They're very spiky.
They're very spiky.
Yeah, exactly.
And square.
I mean, obviously, when we go back and we play a game back then, we try to judge it based on how does it look for the time, not how does it look compared to now. But still, I'm mostly glad that this game came out on the Game Boy Advance because it retains that mother feel that I think in 3D it wouldn't been able to do.
God, the Game Boy Advance is such a great console.
It really was.
I love it so much.
Yeah. Lots of really good games on there. Yeah. I think there's lots of underrated games on there that we'll have to delve into in the game.
The library for was huge.
Mm-hmm. Saf's happy somewhere right now because he picked Game Boy Advance games all the time back in the day.
Yeah, I'm the PS1 boy. He's the Game Boy Advance boy.
Whoa, hold on. I picked 2.
I do. Yeah, you picked 2 now. Yeah, so far. You picked
But have you picked every Game Club game?
Only Japan, both linked to Smash Brothers.
You ever gonna fucking pick a Game Boy Advance game that didn't come out only in Japan?
Stay tuned.
You have to keep watching to find out. Hopefully one day somebody out there, because there was a playable version of Earthbound 64 at Space World. I hope somebody gets their hands on that and release it on the internet, because I'd really like to see it, to be honest with you. I think it would be really cool.
Be interesting.
Yeah. And, Sakurai loves... Sakurai, obviously, he likes Earthbound series, the Mother series. But...
How can you not?
The late Iwata and also Miyamoto, big fans. They're big fans as well. So
they're men of culture. They know what's up.
They are. How about Miyamoto? You love Mother. Why don't you use? I mean, there's no guy with more pull over at Nintendo than Miyamoto. Like, come on, brother, put it down.
Do the right thing.
Give it to us in America, please. We'll never stop asking. So you want to get in the spoiler?
Yeah, it's time.
No spoilers.
Okay, it's time. So this is spoiler zone, the spoiler space.
Spoiler territory.
If you don't want to get spoiled on the story of Mother 3, please skip ahead and go into the description of this video or this whatever the hell audio. If you listen to it on SoundCloud or wherever you're listening, please go into the description and skip ahead to the timestamp that we're going to put there, because if you haven't played this game or you haven't already been spoiled on it, highly suggest that you do, because it's good. It's a story I think that should be experienced by playing it.
I'm actually surprised we made it this far without any spoilers. I mean, I knew the only thing I really knew was who the main villain was, but
yeah, Super Smash Brothers unfortunately spoiled who the main villain is.
But we didn't.
We didn't. We're nice like that. And the only other thing I knew was that it was sad. I've seen people say, "Man, Mother 3 is really sad." I'm sad. I played Mother 3 and I was crying. I did not cry.
I mean, I did not cry either, but I fucking my heart wrenched in the fucking chapter 1 with Flint.
Yeah.
Yes. I felt it, though. I did feel emotion, so it is, it definitely is a sad game. So we'll talk about, the game, even when it starts, it just hits you, because I didn't expect them to just straight up go and pull, killing off, your mom.
Yeah, the mom.
Yep. Very bold move.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
And even for the longest time, I thought Klaus was dead, too. Because they showed him at the end of chapter 1.
Yeah.
That he was
not necessarily dead or but missing.
Yeah.
Or
you see him in the background at the end of the chapter.
Down in the dirt.
Yeah, from a cliff. Like he
that
fell
or
off a cliff.
Unconscious. So you didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he couldn't be dead. I don't think, because I'm like, my thing was, if that's how he died, they wouldn't show it like that.
Yeah.
So there's no way that's how Klaus is dead. There's no way he's dead. So I'm guessing he's either unconscious or whatever, and now he's gone missing.
Right.
But still, goddamn, poor Flint.
Yeah.
Like, he loses his wife, and then he becomes, like, the first person in the village to, like, attack somebody.
Yeah,
and,
like, he...
That was a really powerful scene.
Yeah, it was very... Like, that's why I was, like, going about the animations in this game. Like, seeing Flint just, like, punching the ground, and then everybody, like, trying to calm him down. He's just punching the shit out of everybody, knocking them on their ass.
Yeah.
It's like... And then the other guy just going with a fucking giant log from a tree, just hitting him in the back of the head to knock him out.
Yeah, I really like that, though. Like I said, powerful because, like, you feel it.
You
like,
feel all of his, like, anger and, like, sadness. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Because, like... Yeah, that sucks, man. And then he loses his son. And then he kind of goes in this, like... This thing where, you know, there's, like, a 3-year time skip after that. And it's...
Yeah, he kind of becomes, like, a shell of himself. Like, the townspeople say, like, all he does is visit the mom's grave and go to...
Look for Klaus.
Yeah, go look for Klaus in the mountains.
That's all he does every day.
Yeah.
He visits a grave and then goes in the mountains and looks for Klaus every single day for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And then you also feel bad for Lucas, too, because Lucas is like, my dad's lost it, you know?
Yeah. And he goes visits the mom's grave a lot, too. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Lucas had to toughen himself up.
Yeah, he was like the cryberry, scaredy cat type, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and he had to toughen himself up over those 3 years because his dad is in the fucking loony bin almost, you know, but also Lucas was the only thing his dad had left that was keeping him going too, you know, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, this happens in, like, Chapter 4, so, like, between Chapter 1 and Chapter 4, like, in Chapter 4, they say, oh, there's been a 3-year time skip, but,
Yeah. But Chapter 2, it tells the story of,
Duster
and his father tells him to go steal something from the castle because there's an old castle that they think the royalty used to live in or whatever, but it's all run down now at this point. And he tells him to go steal something from that. He doesn't even tell him what it is.
No.
He says, when you see it, you'll know. And then what does he steal? It's like a vase or something. And then his Duster's dad is an asshole to him.
He calls him a moron all the time.
All the time. And when you're in the castle, you know, robbing it, you meet Kumatora, or Princess Kumatora.
Right.
And she's there as well. Also trying to steal the thing, I think.
They were trying to steal it so it doesn't fall into the hands
needle?
of the main army, which is the pigmen.
Oh, no, she's trying to get the egg, right?
Yeah, she's trying to get the egg.
Yeah, she's also trying to get the egg.
Yeah,
which was what Duster was also there for, but he was...
The hummingbird egg, I think it's called, or something?
Like, the hummingbird egg, yeah. Which is funny, because it's you think, like, oh, that's dumb of Duster, but it's not Duster's fault, because his dad didn't even explain it to him.
And also the castle's filled with ghosts. What the fuck?
Yeah. And it's really not Duster's fault. How would he have known to get through that fucking door where you have to dance? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and then Chapter 3 was really weird. You play as Salsa the monkey.
Yeah.
It's a little monkey.
You feel really bad for him because...
Right away.
God damn, he has a shock collar on.
Yeah.
And Facade is basically like... He steals your girlfriend, monkey.
Yeah, he's like this enemy commander guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, his enemy commander guy, his name's Facade. He's like the higher up in the pig army.
Yeah.
And the pig army is basically going into Tazmily village and corrupting it by telling people, hey, you should be happy all the time. You know how you be happy? You need a happy box, and it's just a TV. But they're like culturizing, I guess. Is that even a fucking word? But they're bringing like modern shit to this village. They're introducing economy to it. People are all of a sudden money's involved. He gives money to some kid. They're corrupting the village from the inside out with economy and politics and everything. And these people don't know any better, you know. And they're doing it all through lies, which is very telling. You know how politics kind of are, which is interesting. You know?
He's just trying to like sell them on being happy, and it's all bullshit.
Exactly. He's bullshitting everybody in the village, and they're buying it because they don't know any better.
Yeah, because they're a village without lies, basically. I mean, they're like a perfect society.
Exactly. They don't know that somebody could be this evil. You know, they don't know that, and you feel bad for them. You know, you feel bad for Salsa because he's in this position where his girlfriend's kidnapped. They're gonna kill her if he doesn't listen to everything they do. And then Facade is treating him like dog shit and zapping him at every chance he gets.
Yeah.
Even if you follow his fucking rules and ideas, he still finds a reason to zap you. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you get pissed at this guy.
Yeah, for sure. It does a good job of making Facade seem like a crazy evil person.
He's I hated
insane.
him so much.
Yeah.
I felt no sympathy for him, even at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a part too where he's like, "Oh, hey monkey, you need to deliver these packages. Do it in like this amount of time. I'll give you a banana. You do it like super fast." And he's like, you did it 1 minute over," and then he shocks you. Fucking like, no matter how fast you do it, you're fucked. He's an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that chapter sets up the whole pig army like getting into the village and like corrupting it.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like my least favorite chapter to play through, but. I understand why it's there. It's
very much a setup, of like everything. And like Salsa's like really weak, which is weird, and then like Facade is like carrying your battles.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he's your secondary. You don't control him, but he attacks after you do. Yeah. So you have to kind of rely on him to take out all the enemies because you're extremely weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do have a move that mimics your opponent's move and does the same amount of damage they do to
That's
you,
helpful.
which is good.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird.
But you can definitely feel like that especially with the enemies you encounter, they're like bugs and like little lizards. It's like they're not exactly hostile towards you. So like, you kind of feel bad of attacking them because Facade just goes and steps on them and kills them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facade's
a bastard, man.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the chapter, once you get to chapter 4, you get the 3-year time skip. And you get through getting the hummingbird egg back.
Well, at the end of chapter 3, we see Lucas again, like for the first time since the beginning, and he's like he helps Salsa and Kumatora and Duster, like from the pig army, like
with the Dragos.
Yeah, with the Dragos. Yeah, which is interesting because like the reason why Klaus gets lost in chapter 1 is because he's out for revenge in the Dragos, but Lucas is like kind of forged a new friendship with the Dragos, even though they killed his mom.
So basically, the Dragos killed the mom, but it wasn't like a regular Dragos. It was a Dragos that was mutated. It basically, when we mentioned that the pig army was like...
I think it was mind controlled.
Well...
Are you sure? I don't remember.
It was a half robot, half Drago.
You fight him later on. It was the half robot one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
the half robot.
What the pigmen were doing were like taking the animals, cutting them in half, putting them back together. That's where you get the creations like the horse tarantula, Kangas shark, all those things that we were talking about earlier.
Fucking with nature.
Fucking with nature, and like obviously they become more aggressive because they're programmed to, because they're half robot, whatever. So the half robot, half Drago is what killed the mother. So Klaus went to get revenge on it, which knocked him off the cliff, and then Flint went after the Drago that attacked both Klaus and the mother. And even at the end of the chapter, I forgot to mention, is like, even when you defeat it, you don't actually kill it, because like the baby Drago pops out and is like trying to protect the mother, and just like, oh, you shouldn't kill it, otherwise it's going to be in the same situation you are in, is you're going to bring in infinite sadness. It's just like, he can't even get his revenge, man.
I mean...
I know, it's right. It wouldn't be right, but it's like, even a bigger punch to Flint, you know what I mean? To his gut.
Yeah, but it's, like Ills was mentioning, it's cool with the duality between Lucas and Klaus.
Yeah, it signifies like each of the lessons they learned. Like Klaus learned the wrong lesson.
Yeah.
Wanted revenge, and Lucas learned the right lesson.
Right.
Yeah. Which was it was not the Dragos' fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was what they were forced to become.
And also not to blame every Drago for like the mistakes of one, you know what I mean?
Of one, yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. I liked that a lot. And you find out, actually I want to mention now that we're in spoilers. I like the connection with, looking back at it, how there was the thing that said, these animals suck. You need to combine. I want to combine them all, and make them cooler.
Chimeras.
And it seems very childish, but it's Porky, who and Porky is literally just a fucking child.
Yeah.
So like
Porky from Earthbound. Yeah.
Porky from Earthbound, and who is the main villain, he commands the pig army, which is spoiled by Super Smash Bros. As well. Through trophies and shit anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not obvious either. That Porky's gonna be the main villain until you get to the end of the game.
I kind of had a sense of it, yeah, but
yeah,
it's so like off the rails, like you wouldn't expect it, but it's pretty cool. Like it's great. It's a great connector between Earthbound and this game. Like
and the big connector between Earthbound and this game is that, like I don't know if they're the people in the village are the descendants from anybody in Earthbound necessarily, but the world of Earthbound is basically gone.
Yeah.
Because this game takes place like in the future.
It's
obviously.
some indeterminate amount of time in the future, because we don't even know like why Dr. Andonuts is there, because he's in Earthbound. I don't know if it's the same guy even.
I think it is the same guy. I think Porky kind of kidnapped him and used him to like.
He brought other people because Porky was able to time travel since the last game.
Yeah.
So he brought like half the army and what's his name, the doctor, to work for him. And then you find him in the lab and he's like, I'm not working for you anymore. He made the ultimate chimera, which kills you in one shot. It's just fucking terrifying.
Now we know why he's so strong in Smash Brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's really cool. Newport City to me is a insane place, by the way.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was weird in Smash because I knew nothing about it. And now you look at it and it's just this like mishmash of shit. But it's also because it was a giant city built by a kid.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so dumb and weird. And it's weird to me though, looking at like that's the stage they chose to represent Mother 3. But like usually in Smash they choose like the starting area or like the main area. Like I would have thought they would have done like Tazmily Village, but no, they choose like the last place in the last chapter of the game.
Yeah.
Like the
I think Newport City is a lot more iconic than Tazmily Village.
For sure.
Like Tazmily Village feels like kind of a like it's not really that important.
Yeah.
Even though you're centered in that part of the game for you know, in that village for a huge part of the game, like in the early section. Newport City is just, it's more indicative of like the themes of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give us, hey Sakurai. Yeah, I know you're listening to this podcast. Give us the forest, the trippy forest.
Just full of mushrooms that reverses your controls.
Yeah, it goes from like the regular forest to like transforms into the crazy one. Like that would be cool. We've gotten like 3 or 4 different Earthbound stages, but we've only have one Mother 3 stage. Like, give us a new one. And like, I will say, I hate fucking Newport City as a stage in Smash 3.
Oh yeah.
And so that stage sucks. Now I'll appreciate it more now that I played this game, but I fucking hate that stage.
Yeah. We need to fight on that limousine.
Oh, that would be cool. Fighting in the limousine, that'd be awesome. Fighting on top of the electric tower. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't remember the name of that tower, but
the lightning tower. The lightning tower. Yeah.
Yeah, the thunder tower. Or fighting on the highway with like
just
have like
pork beans and the
pork beans. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also get to see that's where the table came from with Lucas.
Yeah, how he rides in on the fucking Saturn table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That fucking table. And Mr. Saturn's in the game too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So
Saturn Village is a good fucking thing.
Yeah.
Saturn Valley.
Yeah, Saturn Village is cool. And then the end of the game, we'll talk about the end when you finally fight Porky. And I liked going up to Porky with the tower, and him being like, "All right, you're coming to the 100th floor," and then he just constantly is bringing you to other floors.
Yeah,
I really liked that part. I thought that whole entire section was really fun.
Yeah, it was clever and funny. I mean, Porky's a funny villain. Like you don't get to see much of him until the end of the game, but he's pretty funny. Like
he's a piece of shit, but he's also funny.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so fucking full of himself.
The same thing with Facade, really. Like he's such a piece of shit, but like he's pretty funny. Like even
he's
like
funny
when he has that interpreter, and he can't speak anymore. That's hilarious. That whole part. Like every time you see them,
and he keeps coming back with more and more fucking horns sticking out of his face.
Yeah.
I did not see that twist coming where he was one of the... Oh, we didn't even mention the Magypsies.
Yeah,
The Mad
Gypsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah,
They're
I like
awesome.
them a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I do too. And I love their theme was amazing. I love the saxophone.
The saxophone. Yeah.
It's so good. And yeah, they're like each protector of different needles. In there's 7 different needles, and each one of them there's 7 needles, and each one of them have a different Magypsy that protects it. And once it's pulled, the Magypsy disappears. They'll live forever as long as those needles are there. They're like the protectors.
Yeah. What those needles were guarding was essentially a dark dragon.
A dragon underneath the island.
That dark dragon like was the thing that caused the first like apocalypse / killed the world thing, except that little island, just Nowhere Island. That's how basically the story is. And then go on.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say honestly, the whole like needle dark dragon thing, it felt kind of like it wasn't that important to the story. You know what I mean? Like the story really was about like Lucas and Klaus.
Yeah.
Not about the needles that much. I mean,
it was more like the excuse on why they
needles.
need to go on this adventure kind of type.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah. Like each of them get 3 needles, and then they're.
I kind of thought it was
one.
interesting though, like the whole needle thing, and like only the psychic boys can like, the chosen psychic power boys can pull him, and it's like that. I didn't even think that helmet guy, that one soldier of Porky that kept getting in your way would be Klaus. I didn't even think of it. It didn't even occur to me.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I right away.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it.
Because I automatically assumed that Klaus was dead when I saw it.
No. Without him giving an actual death, I knew he wasn't dead. I just knew it.
So yeah, that was a good twist for me. It all clicked and made sense because he and Lucas are the only ones that kept pulling the needle. So I was like, what's so special about him? And it's Klaus. I was like, oh, they're twins, so they both have psychic powers.
Yeah.
And then going back to Facade, he turned out to be one of the Magypsies.
Yeah.
And like the ones that actually became a traitor and like helped Porky.
Yeah, which was really surprising. Actually.
That was I didn't see that coming either. But I didn't see that the game kind of like tried to make you feel sorry for him, kind of, because like you visit each time you like try to find the needles, you see the Magypsies' house and like what their like little side life is. Like one was like taking care of all these bunnies, and the other one was like and then Facade was
one sleeps all the time.
Yeah, one sleeps all the time. Yeah, the other one's like very like detailed, like to give out detail. Anyway. And then with Facade, there was like a little mouse that like it's the only creature that Facade actually liked and like loved and like protected and took care of and everything. So like
his house was full of bananas.
Yeah, his house is full of bananas because he loves eating bananas. And then you go up to him, you talk to him, it's like, oh, I wonder when he's coming back. It's like he's like such a nice person, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, fuck you, he's an asshole.
Yeah. I love that. I really like that end part with you just going through the tower. I absolutely.
Yeah, they made his death really dramatic. So I was like, nope, not feeling it. Fuck you. Yeah. I would kill you again if I couldn't. If I could.
I like the game show floor where you like have to keep losing to the stupid Porky bot. Like the first time I did it, I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be easy as fuck to beat 10. Okay, you're doing like a whack-a-mole game, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be easy.
Yeah.
And then you win, and they're like, oh no, you look like you're on something. We need to do this again.
You're too scary.
Yeah.
So you had to like purposely lose every time just by a hair.
Purposely lose by one. Yeah. Like every time you have to barely lose.
What I really liked was chapters 5 and 6, like the end of chapter 5 and then the whole of chapter 6. Oh man, like
chapter 6, it's really brief, but you get to like you see your mother.
Yeah, but like at the end of chapter 5, like you climb the Thunder Tower, and you see Facade, he falls off the tower, and then you have to like try to grab onto one of their aerial ships or whatever.
Your best friend, Rope Snake.
Rope Snake is the best. That's what like his best moment.
Yeah.
But then like you fall off the tower and your party gets split up. And chapter 6 is like you fall in this meadow of sunflowers and you see your mom. Yeah. It's like a really powerful moment because you get to connect with your mom again. Like you haven't seen her in all this time. Mm-hmm. So for Lucas, I mean, it's a great time. Mm-hmm. And then you find out like that like your mom somehow saved you from the fall, but like
she told him to put a giant pile of hay there.
Dreams,
yeah. It's weird,
and
but
I think she saved everybody else.
Yeah,
too.
She did. Yeah.
I really liked that. Yeah. It was really cool.
And at the end, like the last
she
fight,
helps you.
besides Porky, like fighting Porky, which I love the conclusion to. I was like the most appropriate thing, the most Porky thing you can think of, really.
Yeah.
He went into it. He goes, you can't kill him.
You can't kill me. I'm gonna make myself
I'm
indestructible. I'm super safe. And he literally locks himself in like a sphere, like a steel sphere.
Yeah.
But he also locked himself so he can't get out. So he's forever stuck in there, but he can't get hurt.
Yeah.
Yep. He's gonna live in there for eternity, and he can't get out. He's just stuck in there forever, which is great.
Yeah. But
Fitting end to him.
yeah, like the last fight is you confronting Klaus, like the masked man, which is the soldier we were talking about that was pulling the needles, and you only have Lucas. You don't have your other party members, and Lucas at that point knows that it's Klaus now, so
Klaus,
he can't attack him. So you just have to like try and survive for a certain amount of turns, and like
Just
during
keep
those
guarding.
turns. You get like these visions and like these scenes where the mother is calling out to Klaus to remember who he is.
Yeah.
Like to bring out Klaus again. And
And the dad jumps in the way of one of the.
oh yeah, he does like
games.
one of the super powerful move and like Flint jumps in the way to protect
Yeah, Flint
Lucas.
jumps in the way.
Yeah.
That-
That's super good.
That was really
Like,
cool, like strong moments.
Yeah.
And when he eventually realizes that, he kills himself because he wants to be with his mom.
Like,
He-
he's been brainwashed this
Yeah.
whole time, so
So, like-
he's just
Yeah.
he's letting go.
Which I really loved
exactly.
that they brought back the Franklin badge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I
That
love
was
when
awesome.
you use it the first time.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because he uses basically his main move is like summoning a lightning bolt, and what the Franklin badge does, it reflects lightning back to whoever used it. That's like the iconic thing of the series since the first game.
Yeah.
Since Earthbound, at least I don't know about the first game, first game, but yeah. So as like the final attack, because he knows Lucas is not gonna attack him, he uses his most powerful thunder attack. So it gets reflected, like unwillingly by Lucas because he's wearing the badge, and he hits himself essentially, killing himself.
Yeah.
Like that was really
Yeah.
wow.
It's real good. Yeah.
I don't know if he did it on purpose.
He did it on purpose.
He did it on
Yeah,
purpose.
because he said he wants to be with his mother
Yeah.
now that he realizes the errors of his ways. He more or less he commits
Yeah.
suicide.
Yeah.
Like you
which
can
is,
notice, like
super-
after like he sees the strong vision
sad.
and takes off his mask and everything,
Yeah.
which protected him as well.
Yeah.
Like he was like his attacks were doing less and less damage to Lucas, I noticed as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So like he takes off his mask and just like this super most powerful attack to hit himself. Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
like during that fight, he rarely does electricity.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
Actually, I don't think he did it at all. He did for me at least.
Yeah.
So
He used
the ending is-
the same whatever word you choose, whatever your favorite thing, PK in games.
Just
Yeah.
call it PK games.
Call it PK games.
PK special. Yeah, and then Lucas pulls the final needle, and the dragon destroys the whole fucking island.
Again. Well, not the the whole
again.
world and the island this time.
Yeah.
But you find out, which is such a weird thing, where it's like the end.
Yeah.
It just says the end, and at first I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's no way that's the end. There's got to be something else, and I'm like pressing A and start, and like nothing's going on, and then I eventually move the control pad 'cause I'm pressing all the buttons, and I notice that it moves, like the camera moves, and I'm like, oh, whoa, what the fuck? So like you just walk around and like you talking to people, and they all are like, oh, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good. So you kind of find out that like all the people like survived, all the good people at least.
Sort of. I mean,
It's like
we're not really sure what happened.
yeah, because
to
it's
them.
like
I
a
guess
blank
they-
screen. Like you don't actually
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
anything. You just see the text dialogue.
So they're
Yeah.
I like they just want to like let you know that they're okay,
Yeah.
but like you don't know.
But you get this
where
whole
they are,
sequence
what
of
they
like
are.
meteors coming down from the sky, the Earth like fissuring itself, like splitting open,
Yeah.
like everything getting destroyed. It's
Tornadoes.
like literally apocalypse, like it's dying by a
Yeah.
meteor shower. And
Yeah.
then it's like everything's fine, even though you can't.
There's this like huge fourth wall shit
Yeah.
going on too, with like, oh hey, it's Brandon. Hey Brandon, you were here the whole time. Like all the like it was they're like talking to you. It was
Yeah,
so
I
weird.
don't get that. Why did they have to break the fourth wall there? It didn't.
I think it was like
Yeah.
the series creator just like kind of telling you like these characters are okay, but your time in that world is over now. Like
Maybe
it's over. Like the series.
It
is
felt
over.
like a
I think
very
that's what it
strange
felt
ending,
like.
like proper ending. Like
It's not as strange as Earthbound. I mean, at least like Earthbound is like. Have you seen like the things people come up with in that game?
Well, those
like,
are theories,
like,
though, fan theories and stuff.
There's so many weird fan theories about Earthbound. I don't know about Mother 3. I'm sure there is, because it also, just like Earthbound, it could be like open to interpretation.
Yeah.
You know? But I overall, I mean, it tells it just a fucking great ass story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I would have been fine if they just ended it with like Klaus and Flint sacrifice. Well, not Flint, but Klaus finishes himself, and then you just restore the world, or. Yeah, it's like, why did the world destroy itself if the pure of heart was the one that pulled the needles? Because the whole thing was that the person that pulls the needles, namely Lucas and Klaus, whoever has, like, either, if he has a good heart, that will go transfer into the Dark Dragon. But if you have a bad heart, like an evil heart, that would also go into the Dark Dragon. And based on if it was of pure or of evil heart, that's what the outcome would be. So considering, how many needles did Lucas pull? 3?
4.
Huh? 4. Yeah, so it should have been of good heart. Then why was the world destroyed?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways to think about it. Like, you can think, like, maybe it was destroyed because Lucas felt so heartbroken over Klaus dying. So he didn't really have a good heart at that moment. Or it could just be like, the world is getting reset, and this is the right thing for the world. You know what I mean?
He was cleaning out all the evil.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he did last
But then
time.
why didn't they just show, like, a scene where it's just everything's just swiped clean and it's, like, beautiful again?
I mean, they essentially did.
Yeah.
In a way, with the darkness.
I guess.
You don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's very open up to interpretation, I think.
Yeah, they're kind of like in this unknowable world, like outside of, you know.
Yeah. And I think
That's the thing, like, they gave the perfect image of what, like, the most peaceful thing of, like, the village is in the very beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. Like, they gave, like, a perfect example of what it, like, would be without, like, the economy, no corruption, no nothing.
Well, I think this is, like, one of the themes of the game is, like, you can't really get rid of that dark side of the human psyche. This is why I think Porky is unkillable, like, because he represents that part of it. Like, he's the greed, he's the, you know, the cruelty of human experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's why you can't get rid of it.
As long as humans exist, there'll always be people like that.
Yeah.
Like I've said it before, like you can kill bad people, but there's always gonna be bad people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, no matter what you do, and it's unfortunate.
And this is also why, like, when Lucas's dad flies into that rage, you know, that's part of it too. You know what I mean? Even though he gets better, you know. This is just like a hint of the bad side of the human experience.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's a good person, but he was lashing out.
Yeah.
There's some really deep shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the coolest things was if you see the logo on the title screen and on the box art of Mother 3, it's like this chrome, all the letters are chrome like metal, with a little bit of wood on them. But after you beat the game, on the final screen, it's the logo again, but it's all made out of wood, and the O in Mother isn't just chrome anymore, it's the planet Earth. So it's like back to normal.
Yeah.
You know, which is really cool. I really liked that. You know, the logo got restored completely. It's just neat. You know, the logo itself in the game already is cool, because it's almost like the theme with, like, you know, the industrialization fighting with nature, you know, at the same time. It's really neat. So, yeah, I think that's it for our spoilers. So, now it's time for, you know, the final judgment of Mother 3 when we add
Can I just
Mother
do,
3
like, a little bit of miscellaneous comments? Like,
oh, sure.
I just wanted
to
to
do that.
say two last things. Like,
Sure.
I thought the underwater section was kind of whack. I didn't like it that much.
You don't like kissing? You don't like kissing?
No, I'm
those
fine
dudes?
with that. It's just like the oxygen decreases way too fast.
Yeah,
It does decrease
like,
way too fucking
you made
fast.
one little mistake, you're fucked. You're going all the way back to the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. No, that was kind of annoying.
And the other thing is that healing can be scarce sometimes. Like, you'd be going through, like, a dungeon, and then you have to fight a boss, and, like, it's crazy hard sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you'd be, like, almost dead and, like, have to fight a boss, and it's crazy. But
Yeah, there was a couple of times where after a boss, they were like, okay, now you got to go back to wherever. And I was like, oh, I'm almost dead now.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
barely got by this boss. Now I got to go. Even the regular enemies are going to whoop my ass now.
But for the most part, these are very small complaints.
Yeah. I mean, the game's not exactly perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect game, but yeah, you're right. Those parts were a little irritating. I gotta say, yeah. Especially, I did like the underwater theme and everything, but yeah,
and I like the way it looked.
I don't know. I remember thinking that too. I was like, why the fuck is my air going down so damn fast?
Yeah.
I mean, have you tried to hold your breath underwater and swim at the same time?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, but it's a video. I did love the air machines though, like kissing those mermaid guys.
Yeah.
So, if not though, it did take a little too long though. Every time.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's time to put Mother 3 on
The
list.
The list.
You follow along with the list in the paste bin below. Every single time we play a game here on the Game Club, we add it to the list. Ills, it is your turn to start.
God.
Because you picked this game for us. So where do you think, or at least in general, it should go here on the list?
Well, I mean, in general, this is easy. I mean, it's right around the Earthbound area. This game is every bit as good as Earthbound.
I prefer
better.
it than Earthbound. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I prefer it or not. I'm still struggling with that, but it's every bit as good as it at the very least. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, for me, I think it's better than Earthbound. Like, not like saying that like it's easy, but because Earthbound is also fucking awesome game. But it does.
It definitely has a much
like-
better structured story than Earthbound does.
Yeah, I think it tells a more personal
Yes.
story, which is much to its benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get
It's
much more of a connection with these characters than you do.
Like Earthbound definitely
It's on a lower
had like
scale.
its moments
Yeah.
where it was like, especially like towards the end with Ness like leaving his body and going into the robots and everything to fight Gigias.
And Magicent.
Yeah,
all
and
that.
through Magicent and all that stuff. But it definitely had a lot more tear wrenching moments in Mother 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a more personal, like a smaller scale.
Yeah,
story,
and everything
where
feels a
Earthbound
lot
is
more
telling a more
connected.
global
It's
thing.
like where everything was just centralized around Ness going through his adventure. Everything else in Mother 3 was just like you had Duster's side of the story, even the monkeys, Salsa and his girlfriend thingy, Kumatura, Flint. They all had like different connections to the story. It's like I guess based around all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the final fight with Klaus is a lot better
Yes.
than the final fight with Gigas.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's not as weird and creepy.
No,
There's
I-
fetuses.
No, I love
like the
weird and
fetuses
creepy,
in the background.
but yeah, it was.
This is a lot more impactful.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of quality of life changes in Mother 3 that put it above Earthbound, in my opinion. Like I said, like the menu system, with like I will say that
Item storage.
the inventory a million times better. So yeah, it's just little quality of life things here and there that go a long way too, just in terms of the gameplay.
I will say
Battles.
I think
Go ahead.
the world of Earthbound is a little bit better than this one.
Yeah, I like the
As a
locales
whole,
in the world
yeah.
of Earthbound a little bit. That's true.
Yeah, I like how each is like each like city is its own like theme in Earthbound
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
The naming
I
puns and all that stuff.
I agree with. I can agree with that. I mean, there's pros and cons for both. I mean, both are amazing games, but I mean, personally for me, I think that Mother 3 does it a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. Yeah, sure.
But do you think? But here's the thing: do you think Mother 3 goes beyond just Earthbound?
I don't know.
Do you think it's better than Undertale? Do you think it's better than Mario
It's
Kart?
very
et
difficult.
cetera? I mean,
I've
think
been dreading this for almost all.
There's part. Okay, but here's the thing: there's part of me that thinks Earthbound should go a little bit higher on the list as well.
I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
you cut out.
There's part of me that thinks Earthbound also should be higher on the list.
I don't
No.
think so.
No.
I think the thing with Undertale. All right, here's why I love Undertale so much.
Oh, I thought you said
They
Earthbound.
pack in. What?
I thought you said Earthbound, not Undertale.
No, yeah. No, I think here's why I love Undertale so much. I think that they pack in a lot of character into these people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you find? And like You get such a sense of them, like going through the different runs, you know, the different ways that you interact with them, like, you know, pacifist or genocide, you know. You get to see
all the different sides of them.
Especially like Sons of Undyne, yeah.
Exactly. Like, you get to see these whole, like, they really flesh out the character in such a great way.
You don't know how sadistic Sans is in your pacifist run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's such a well-realized world. Like, as much as I love Mother 3, I don't think there's that kind of depth. Yeah. Even though, you know, this is a longer game, this is a you know, in some ways a harder game, at least in some runs. Yeah, so I feel like Undertale like just has like a more complete vision, if that makes sense.
I definitely see that. The only issue I have with Undertale, I mean, I fucking love the game. I've done all the routes. Fucking chess. But the only complaint I have about Undertale is that the overworld itself, the environment, is very extremely bland. Like, the characters in it are cool, but the locales and, like, even, like, the puzzles are, like, very basic, and it's just very boring. Like, the environment's like the forest, the snow forest you go through, even the towns feel, like, very minuscule compared to Mother.
I will say that, like, the environmental puzzles are basic, but, like, the combat puzzles...
No, the combat is a separate thing.
Those are fantastic.
The combat's amazing. But that's a completely separate thing that I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the overworld that you traverse constantly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very boring and bland.
It's kind of empty. It's
very empty. Like, I always felt like I was looking, like, I wanted to explore them, but there was never anything satisfying to find. There was nothing there. It was like, it's just, that's the only thing. Like,
part of it is like the graphic style, because it's kind of like
and like
vector graphics.
Yeah, like again, in the overworld, all the sprite work, the animations weren't that great either. But like in the battle system, like the sprite work is phenomenal. It's like amazing. But everything that the overworld had was just not good.
I think
it was a huge contrast.
Yeah, it's not hugely detailed, like for the most part, but I think it's very like evocative. Like, it shows you only what you need to see in some respects. Like, it doesn't have like all this flashy stuff, but it gives you enough that like each place has like a feel to it, if that makes sense. Like, I can understand what you mean, and I mostly agree that obviously the world of Mother 3 is a lot more detailed because it's more fleshed out. But I don't exactly hold that I don't hold that as a huge negative for Undertale, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it's obviously not enough to drag it down, but it's definitely something that's like I said, it's the only thing I have against Undertale. Like, when it comes to Mother 3, I feel like they did the environment like way better. Like some of the cutscenes, like we mentioned in the beginning of chapter 1 with Flint and everything, like that whole scene at the campfire like had a much more impact than as an overworld scene than like anything from Undertale ever had. All of Undertale's like great scenes were in combat.
Yes.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I will agree with that. Yeah. No,
well, I mean,
that statement I agree with, absolutely. All the great scenes in Undertale are in the combat itself.
Well, I mean, there are some parts where in the dating part,
that was
pretty cool.
Yeah, but that was partly.
But they treat those like weird combat sections.
Yeah,
they're weird.
Yeah.
But they are good.
But in general, as an overall package, Undertale and Mother 3 are really hard to compare each other. But
I feel weird having all these games right next to each other, and that's it. It's like a weird
Even if we were to go past like Undertale, it's weird trying to compare it to Mario Kart Deluxe, Splatoon 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like remember we had like all the visual novels right next to each other. And
this is the mother section of the list.
Yeah.
This is the mother section. And we're gonna play Oddity, and like when it comes out, we're gonna put it in the same fucking spot. Like,
I mean, what should we put it above it just to break that mold? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying it feels so.
I mean,
weird,
I don't like it either because I want Undertale higher than what it is. But that's a different argument.
I want Earthbound higher, and in turn, I also want Mother 3 higher. Because me personally, and I'll tell you right now, if I was going to put Mother 3 anywhere I wanted on the list, right now, I would put it underneath Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'd put it above Red Dead Redemption, and I fucking love that game.
I mean, I could see that too. I mean, I wish Red Dead was lower.
I haven't played Final Fantasy IV yet, so I can't, talk on it. So, but like, my stopping point would be Castlevania.
No, I agree with that. I think it's probably better than Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree to. Yeah.
I just wish the other games were up there too, because I agree with those as well.
Right. So you agree? You would put it above Splatoon. You would put it above Metal Gear.
I put Undertale above Mario Kart and Splatoon, and Animal Crossing. Yeah.
Would you put it above Metal Gear Solid?
That's the tough one.
I would.
Yeah. I'm talking about Undertale, but we're talking about Mother 3 now. We don't have to go.
No, let's move all three of them right now.
No, we can't do that. That's for another day.
I'm sure they'll agree. Don't worry. We have their tacit approval.
They probably would.
Yeah,
but that doesn't matter. I don't know. What do you think? Or are you stuck not getting past where Earthbound and Undertale are?
Like Castlevania's the hard wall, Undertale's the soft wall.
I wouldn't put it above Symphony of the Night personally. I mean, Symphony of the Night is fucking amazing ass game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, if it goes above Earthbound,
if it goes above Undertale,
Undertale,
I'll put it up just below Castlevania, yeah.
Fine.
But it's
exactly.
Do we want to put it above Undertale?
I say yes, but that's up to you guys.
Yeah, if we agree to move Undertale next time.
I mean, I'm not agreeing to that, but
no, I'm not saying you have to promise or anything, but like, just keep this in mind for next time.
This is gonna come to bite us back in the ass, isn't it?
That's the thing. I don't want to stop.
I mean, you just said.
Okay.
All right, I'm down for Under Castlevania.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so that's gonna put it at number 15 on the list, which is incredibly respectful for this game. You obviously can tell how we feel about it and how long we've talked about it, because Jesus, this was a long episode.
This is the longest episode, and
this is the longest Game Club episode ever right now,
and the highest ranked club game.
Highest, yeah, it is. I mean, well deserved, honestly.
Yeah.
The Saf. We always called Saf dirty for pulling pulling the Earthbound card out. So we're gonna call you the dirty one now. How about that? So let's see, where is it? Number 15, like I just said. We're surrounding it is on the list. Number 13, The Last of Us. Number 14, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Number 15, Mother 3. Number 16, Final Fantasy 4. Number 17, Red Dead Redemption. It's in rare air right there. Those are good games. We're at the top of the list here, so really awesome game. All right, so if you guys enjoy the Jump Up Supercast Game Club, make sure you check us out on your favorite podcast listening service of your choice, including SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube, where a new episode of the Game Club is going to go up every other Thursday. And as well as normal just Jump Up Supercast episodes will be uploaded every single Monday. So give us a follow, a like, or a share. Feel free to let us know what you thought about Mother 3, if you played it. Or if you're thinking about playing it, down in the comments. Support us if you enjoy what we do here. You can actually support us on Patreon, where for just $1 a month you can get the chance to actually choose our Game Club games once a round, and we're gonna get even more into that in just a moment. But you can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to stay up on date on everything Jump Up Supercast related. And hell, you can even watch us streaming Game Club games sometimes, and even more. Muzzy's playing games in hell. We've been streaming a lot lately. We're going to be doing it a lot this year, so you can follow us on twitch.tv/jumpupsupercast. Just come hang out with us while we play video games. And it's important, if you follow us on Twitter, you'll get notifications and everything when we go live. Give us a follow. We really appreciate it. And as always, I want to thank Ills and Noah for joining me here and playing video games with me, and even more important, I want to thank you guys for listening. Before we go, though, if you follow us on Twitter, you might already saw it. I just tweeted out yesterday. The first Patreon Game Club game was chosen by one of our patrons. They suggested games to us, and I put them in a wheel, and I hit the spin button, and we got spun the wheel, and we're playing Silent Hill 2 for our first Patreon pick game. So join us next time when we talk about Silent Hill 2. And if you want to, like I said earlier, if you want to pick what game we're playing, you can always just do it for $1. It's pretty cheap. So once a round we do that, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. You know,
we are playing the HD collection one, right? The original one.
No, we're playing the PlayStation 2 version because we're playing the best version of the game.
Yeah.
Don't worry. So join us when we play that game and talk about it on the next episode. Thank everybody for listening. Go out there, play some video games, including Mother 3, and be nice.
Give my regards to the next frog you meet.